The corner!
Ah,
The corner!
we made it.
You think you were going to make it?
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations, man. Awesome.
Smokes.
Awesome race. Awesome
Oh.
race. Did you want to wrap here, or do you want to? I've got some snacks for you now, or do you want to head on out?
Let's head over the sheets. That'd be great.
All right, let me load up and I'll see you there. So let me
All
tell
right,
you how to
awesome.
get there. Let me
Yeah.
also stop this since this won't be posted, so you can say it. So this is Andrew at the famous Sheets stocking up his last night on the road that he spent at a church. Awesome last day, by the way. You'll be 210 miles, I think, this last 24 hours.
Yeah.
But your average for the whole race is about 200 miles a day, 190 something.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So I don't know who you are. And no one knows who you are. I mean, I Google you and don't get you.
Yeah.
So when I put in Andrew Backer cyclist, nothing comes up but
Nope.
Trans Am bike race. So
Yeah.
I get bupkis. Tell me a little bit about you,
Yeah.
and then I've got some questions about your ride.
Yeah. So grew up in Southern California, born and raised, and I always enjoyed cycling growing up. At one point in elementary school, a buddy of mine and I, we would ride to school together, like 6th grade, on our bikes, get down to like right above the elementary school, call home, be like, hey, we made it, and then keep on going and make it home.
And how far was that ride?
Oh, maybe a mile or two or something, not super far. Well, it was funny too, because then I had like a department store mountain bike, which we all started on or whatever, which is fine. But then it was funny. I started stealing my mom's bike because she had a hybrid, which was a little bit faster. So I steal her bike and go on rides and stuff. And then eventually kind of got towards high school, and I was like, well, I'm enjoying this. I might as well get a road bike. So I got my first road bike, I think junior year of high school or something. Did some rides and whatnot. But then
High school for you was just a couple of years ago, because you're only 23, right?
Yeah. So it was not too long ago. So I enjoyed it then. It was kind of just a good way to be active and get out. And we grew up in California, so a beautiful area to ride in. I really got into cycling though was 2020, as many people probably did. Got into cycling then, and really enjoyed it. Well, I mean, it was COVID summer, so I was home and just kind of putzing around, not really doing much. And then I was like, oh wait, I have my road bike. We go on a ride. So I did my first ride that summer, was I think 28 miles, and I was like, what if I did a century? Oh no.
So you did a century.
And then later I work up to it, and it was cool because the week before the race, roughly, is Memorial Day. So 3 years ago, Memorial Day was my first century I ever did. And I got to mile like 98, and I stopped at the park, and I'm laying there, and I'm like, I'm so tired and hot and just exhausted.
Go.
Yeah, and so kind of got into it then, and then, just researching, fun, cycling, all this stuff, and saw the documentary, as probably every single racer on this ride has seen.
So that was the hook into Trans Am bike race.
Oh yeah.
Was inspired to ride.
Yep.
Another
one
sucked into the vortex.
Well done, Nathan Jones, for getting that documentary out there. So I saw the documentary. I was like, oh, that looks cool. Then I talked to my dad. He was like, well, your Uncle Tom did that. He didn't race it, but he toured the route right before he went to seminary. And I was like, oh, well, that's awesome. So I started thinking about it. It's like, okay, well, I think I want to do this. That would be cool. Kind of working towards it, and then eventually got to this summer, and I'm in grad school right now.
Where are you at school?
Wheaton College out of Chicago. So I did my undergrad there, and then stuck around for a master's degree as well.
In?
Higher ed and student development. So my undergrad was in physics, so doing a bit of a pivot here, which has been fun. But higher ed student development, I live and work in one of the dorms there with a team of RAs and with the freshmen and sophomores in the
You'll have
dorm.
great stories to tell on Perseverance.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yep. This is hard. Is it?
It's all relative.
It's all relative, exactly. It is, but yeah. And then the summer was coming around, and I was like, well, this is kind of the last summer I could really do something before I get into the quote unquote real world. I mean, I am working right now and work for the college and stuff. We get summers off, so it's like, well, no time like the present. so might as well.
And here you are.
And here I am in Virginia.
With less than 100 miles to go.
Oh, I still can't believe it.
First American in the race in 6th place. Did you have any expectations?
My first goal was really ambitious. My first goal was to finish the race. I think I'll check that box. Second goal was to do it in 3 to 4 weeks, and I was like, okay, I'll probably end up in like the 3.5 week mark. And the third goal was to win it, and I saw Henri and Omar and Pavel, yep, I can't think of his name. I was like, well, they've got it. They did just an incredible race. That was so cool to see. I was like, well, we can go back to goal number 2, like 3 to 4 weeks, and yeah, it's gone a lot better than I thought.
Today is 3 weeks from the start of the race.
Yeah, which is just awesome. Just awesome.
And you've had a ton of mechanicals.
So I've gone through 7 spokes, 4 of which have broken while riding, 3 of which have broken while trying to repair and true the wheel and whatnot.
Same wheel? Rear wheel?
Rear wheel, yep.
Of course, rear wheel.
Oh,
right?
of course, yep. Yep. Well, and the worst, I mean, and yesterday, I was going up Blue Ridge Parkway, and I just hear like a pop and a rattling.
Vesuvius? Is that what you mean by
It was actually after Vesuvius, luckily.
Okay.
It was.
And what about Vesuvius?
Oh, Vesuvius was so steep. Oh my word.
But you knew, you'd heard stories. Short.
I mean, I'd heard stories of like, oh, it's the last big climb. I didn't hear as much of those stories that it's so steep.
Did you paperboy it?
I did not, no. And I didn't step off either. I've not stepped off on a single climb because I know if you step off, you are not getting back on until the top.
That's right.
But, yeah, so 7 broken spokes. This is my 3rd chain on the race. So I was in Elizabethtown fixing one of the spokes, which I had fixed the one the night before, or the day before, right before the ferry. I think that was that day.
It's a blur.
It's a blur. I mean, the days really do meld together. But I was fixing it, and then another one snapped. And I was like, well, I'm not able to replace it because it was just in the right place where I can't will that spoke through. So I get to Elizabethtown, and I'm like, oh, I might as well check my chain, and the chain checker slips all the way to max. And I was like, okay. So got a new chain and everything, got a new rear tire. Front tire's been going the whole way through, which has been awesome.
Wow.
It's been a good setup, and then I think the snapped a rear derailleur cable.
And you had a cable, right?
So and that was right after Elizabethtown as well. And I'm like, well, do I go back? Do I keep going forward? So I'm going forward, which ended up riding about 70 to 80 miles on a 2-speed through the Kentucky mountains.
And that's actually when you lost your 5th place in
Yep.
Kentucky. But I mean, that may not have been too important.
Well, and it was right after that, because I was still ahead of him even when I got the repair done and stuff down in Danville. And I got back on route and I was still ahead of him. But he's amazing. His pass speed, he's amazing. He's phenomenal. I hope he's at the finish so I can meet him.
He's done.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you hope he's still there to meet.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because he was just
His flight is July 11th. He thought it was going to take him that long.
Oh, he's phenomenal. Yeah.
So
he's done amazing.
So a lot of things went wrong, it sounds like. What about planning-wise? What about strategy-wise?
Yeah.
Anything there kind of would you do different?
I was thinking about it. I was like, I think I could do this faster next year.
What if I say next year?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I know. That's dangerous. Next time, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
That's fair. That takes the pressure off.
Yeah, right. I think trying to get a lighter kit, and I stayed in a lot more motels than I thought I was going to.
But you get better sleep.
You get better sleep and then you go faster. So it's like, so then it's cheaper. So it's like, it really is a trade-off. So I think I'd go try and find a lighter kit, carry more spare things with the bikes. I was going to carry an extra cable, but my bike shop, who I do love and trust, they were like, well, it can be a pain to fix it and stuff. And when I was down in Danville, I helped the guy fix the cable, and I was like, yeah, I could have done this. Oh well. Next time, right? Yeah. I mean, there are sections of the route where it's like, oh, I'd love to do this again. And then there were other sections where I was like, is this ever going to end? And there was one.
Today.
Yeah, right. And there was one section, I think it was when I caught up to Tani. Where was that? Might have been Missouri. I don't remember now. But it was this like 58, 59 mile section with no resources, and it was just hot, and the road sucked. Such a bad road. And it was during that moment where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this part again. You know, it's like Yellowstone, Tetons, beautiful. Colorado, beautiful.
Your best part?
Oh yeah, I loved it. It was awesome. I mean, I wish I could have gone through Yellowstone slower, but at the same time, it was awesome to race through it. And Pierre, who's gonna come through, I think hopefully tomorrow or the next day, we were kind of riding at a similar pace, so we're kind of going like one-on-one on all the climbs and stuff, and just racing, ripping through the park, which was just so fun. Just awesome. Just awesome.
So what are you happy with?
I'm really happy with the setup. I don't think I brought almost nothing that I didn't need, which is really cool.
And was that luck? Because you haven't done any long distance ultra.
This is my first bike race.
Cycling events, right?
First bike race, first bike tour, first multi-day ride. So there's a lot of research and stuff. I mean, there was, when I saw all the racers like sending stuff home and whatnot, I was like, I think I'm gonna get rid of some stuff as well. So I sent almost 5.5 pounds of stuff home, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of nice. This is kind of nice. So, and I think the other thing that I would have done differently is just not carry the third bottle. I had a third bottle for a while, but with that cage, it would kind of bump up and then rub against the front wheel and just destroy the bottle, just eat it up. So I ripped through 2 bottles, and I was like, I'm not really using this one anyways. There's only a few sections where it gets tight on if you're gonna have enough water, so probably would have ditched that, gotten a bigger frame bag, just have more space. But other than that, I mean, it's worked. Setups worked great. So
that's awesome. Congratulations, man! First
Thank
big
you.
race like this to come in 6th place. Kudos to you, chapeau.
Oh,
That's
it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
So you'll be well taken care of at the line as well too by the Mind
Sweet.
Angels. So
Awesome.
98 miles to go, and this kid is done.
Yeah, there we go.